Capcom Disney titles continue to surprise me. They manage to craft interesting games based on Disney IP that are enjoyable if relatively easy to complete. I have now given another of these classic Capcom games a try with The Little Mermaid for the NES. Loosely based on the 1989 animated classic, The Little Mermaid puts players in the fins of Ariel as she strives to save the seas from the evil Ursula. Unfortunately, the journey is incredibly easy and lands on the boring side as a result. Ariel is a mermaid who has fallen in love with Prince Eric. To be with him forever, Ariel goes to the sea witch Ursula to turn her into a human. While living out her dreams, trouble begins brewing in the sea. Ariel is soon visited by her friends Sebastian, Flounder, and Scuttle, who let her know about Ursula's evil schemes. Ariel reverts to her mermaid form to save the sea. The story of The Little Mermaid does not closely follow the events of the movie in any significant way, other than featuring the same characters, that is. And that's just fine, as most of the movie's story elements wouldn't serve the purpose of a game well outside of the beginning shipwreck exploration and final confrontation with Ursula, which are thematically present within the game. Story elements are presented to players in text-based cutscenes before every level. A pixel art depiction of Ariel and other characters accompanies the text. The plot is serviceable and basic, which moves the game along fine. The best aspect of The Little Mermaid is how it controls. Taking place almost entirely underwater, Ariel can freely move in any direction on the screen. By holding the B button, you can make Ariel travel faster. The movement has a nice sense of freedom about it, and it puts dodging incoming enemies at the forefront of the experience, instead of traditional platforming. At different parts of the journey, Ariel will need to jump out of the water to either advance or claim items. While on land, Ariel loses her mobility, and you can only move with repeated jumps. It's a neat dynamic that breaks up the normal gameplay cycle. By pressing the A button, Ariel performs a bubble attack that can trap enemies, who can then be used as projectiles to take out other enemies. It is an interesting system that gives me major Kirby vibes. A cool aspect of Ariel's attack system is that it can be upgraded as you play by finding hidden red and green pearls. Red pearls increase the size of your bubble attack, making it able to trap enemies faster, and further upgrades make it possible to trap larger enemies. Green pearls increase the range of your bubble attack so you can stay safely back from attacking enemies to trap them. While trapping and throwing enemies is the main form of combat in the game, numerous shells are also present throughout a playthrough for Ariel to use. Shells kill any standard enemy they hit and can be retrieved to use again. Shells also serve as a way to open the game's many treasure chests. Opening chests makes them disappear, and sadly not every chest includes an item. Several barrels can also be found around stages that can only be moved once Ariel has at least one red pearl. Barrels will kill all enemies and open any chest they happen to roll into. The game features 5 levels overall, with 6 boss fights thanks to the final fight being a standalone experience. Levels are short compared to other Capcom Disney titles. While they get longer as you progress, you can easily beat the entire game in 25 minutes. They are mostly linear with a few branched paths to explore. Exploring Ursula's castle changes things up with a maze environment with several doors you will need to enter to find the correct path. Enemy variety is good considering the size of the game. You will encounter several fish, seahorses, crabs, and octopus enemies on your journey. Most try to simply ram you as their main form of attack, but octopi will fire projectiles that you will have to dodge. Each level also features a boss fight at its close. Bosses are the most fun fights of the game, and each manages to feel unique despite the simple combat loop. They are still easy overall, with simple patterns to recognize and evade. Audio work for The Little Mermaid is nice. Sound effects are whimsical and fit the tone of the game well. Each stage gets a unique theme with boss themes added to the mix. They have nice melodies and fit the aesthetic of each level well. None gets repetitive to listen to, though with how short each level is, you won't be listening to them long anyway. The game looks great for an NES title with decent sprites for Ariel and stage enemies. Bosses get nice details, and it is fun to see the larger ones. Animations have a decent number of frames in them to give everything a smooth appearance in motion. Environments look good, and I love the added details for the backgrounds. The distinction between water and surface areas is also handled well. Scrolling between different areas is also incredibly smooth. While most Capcom Disney games are easy and not incredibly long, The Little Mermaid cuts both of these metrics in half, making it far easier and shorter as a result. Sadly, it makes the whole experience feel boring, which is unfortunate given the fun movement. There are some instances of wonky hitboxes, but thankfully this is kept to a minimum. Getting higher scores or speedruns is the biggest draw I see to come back to The Little Mermaid after an initial completion. Each level gets scored upon completion based on things you have done. Several hidden items can be found to boost your scores as well. Speedruns look interesting, with any percent runs having the game completed under 7 minutes. While there have been many games based on The Little Mermaid over the years, the NES version is not related in any way to the Sega games. There is, however, a Game Boy adaptation of the game that stays pretty faithful to the NES experience. It has several changes, but it is a good way to experience this adaptation of The Little Mermaid. Sadly, The Little Mermaid has not been included in any Disney compilations that have been released over the last few years. While The Little Mermaid features interesting controls in combat, the game is too easy and can get boring as a result. Still, the journey isn't long, so if you have ever been curious about trying it, you could do so in the span of half an hour with ease. Taking into account that the game was made for kids, I could see this being a fun game for my 4-year-old to try out to ease her into learning more difficult platformers. Thank you for making it to the end of today's review on The Little Mermaid for the NES. This one was once again chosen by our channel backers, and very short, this one. Again, a little bit on the boring side for me, but it is a kid's game, so in that context, I think it's actually pretty solid, but definitely not something I think I will ever need to really personally go through again, but I don't know. Might load this one up for my daughter, like I said. Who knows? But thank you, backers, for voting this one in. Always enjoy this weekly vote we do. Really appreciate it. But thank you all so much again for watching today's review. I hope you found it helpful, informative on your decision if you want to play The Little Mermaid or not. But here at the end, just the usual favors to ask if you haven't already. Thumbs up, thumbs down, depending on how much you like today's video, as well as hitting that sub button and notification bell so you can see when new videos go live on the channel, as there's always more coming your way. And for anyone interested in further helping support the channel to keep it going, also be sure to check out that join button here on YouTube or the Patreon link in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, as every little bit helps keep us going. And you get to, again, vote on these weekly retro reviews. I could speak. But anyway, until next time, my wonderful internet peeps, you all stay awesome, keep on gaming, and we'll see you back next video.